Hello everyone, and of course those who are here, and also we have a lot of, I assume we have a lot of participants online. Also, good afternoon to some of them, and really very happy to welcome all of you today. We are going to talk about how to foster partnership toward net zero economy in between Japan and the MENA. First of all, I would like to invite Dr. Jawad Al-Kharraz, the Executive Director of the Regional Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, for his opening remark. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rabhi. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm honored to give this welcoming remarks to such an important session with the presence of esteemed partners, the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies, the Islamic Development Bank, and also the Gulf Research Center. RECRE, as you know, is an intergovernmental organization based in Cairo with 17 members through the Ministries of Energy. The main mission of RECRE to support the energy transition journey in these countries through providing technical assistance to develop their national strategies and develop their capacities, and also promote the investment of private sector in these areas, but also obviously supporting the countries to achieve the net zero goals. MENA, as you know, has doubled renewable capacity in the last decade. Lowest wind and PV price records are found in the MENA region, thanks to the well-designed competitive bidding and auction schemes with strong PPPs or public-private partnerships and incentives. If emissions reduction targets are exceeded and renewable projects are eligible, MENA could generate carbon credits for the Paris Agreement Article 6 markets. The MENA region possesses immense mitigation potential through the access to abundant renewable energy and financial capital, especially at a time when capital is looking for solutions in the areas of climate, environmental and social action. MENA is a highly heterogeneous region with both an urgent need and great potential to regional cooperation. On the one hand, it benefits from broad diversity of capital and a strong commitment to NDCs. On the other, many countries in the region need a large portion of that capital to decarbonize their hard-to-abate sectors. Global technology disruption and innovations in business models and services will facilitate decarbonization, like technological innovation, green and blue hydrogen, energy storage, e-mobility, digitalization, smart system, blockchain technology, and so on. Green hydrogen created with renewable energy can replace fossil fuels in hard-to-abate sectors. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Oman, Egypt, and Morocco are actively exploring opportunities. Saudi Arabia and UAE have announced investments in carbon capture, utilization, and storage, and direct air capture. The MENA region can play a leading role in the upcoming energy sector, given its incredible solar potential. As I mentioned earlier, the cost to produce green hydrogen in the region is expected to drop as low to $1 per kilogram by 2035. Meanwhile, the region can produce blue hydrogen as a transitional variety at low cost to seed the market. Beyond decarbonizing domestic hard-to-abate sectors, clean hydrogen from the region can also be exported to Japan, among other countries, where it's expected to fetch a significant premium. In addition, the region can enable financing for new energy vectors through the development of deeper carbon markets to facilitate transactions between sellers, between buyers such as large energy companies and sellers such as projects in breakthrough technologies to develop an efficient flow of capital in the region to aid in decarbonization journey. Fostering partnerships toward net zero economies in the MENA region requires collaboration and cooperation among the different stakeholders, and cooperation with the pioneer countries such as Japan will be of utmost importance for the region. Japan is among a group of 136 countries that have pledged climate commitment to reach net zero by 2050. For this purpose, we need to establish clear and ambitious goals and targets for achieving net zero emissions. This provides a common vision and framework for collaboration. Government, businesses, and organizations should align their efforts towards these goals, creating a shared understanding of the transition required. In addition, we need to involve a diverse range of stakeholders in the partnership, including government, businesses, civil society organizations, research institutions, think tanks, and communities. Each stakeholder group brings unique perspective, expertise, obviously, and resources to contribute to the transition towards a net zero economy. So we need to foster platforms for knowledge sharing, collaboration, learning, and encourage the exchange of best practices, experiences, and lessons learned from different sectors and regions. This can be done through conferences, workshops, network, and online platforms, enabling stakeholders to learn from each other and replicate successful initiatives. On the other hand, we need to develop incentive and support mechanisms to encourage collaboration and investment in net zero economy initiatives. This could include financial incentives, tax breaks, grants, subsidies for businesses and organizations that commit to reducing their emissions and adopting sustainable practices. Government can also provide technical assistance and capacity building support to help stakeholder transitions to net zero economies. We need also to promote R&D of innovative technologies, solutions, and business models that contribute to net zero economies. And we need to encourage collaboration between the research institutions, startups, and established businesses to drive this innovation and accelerate the adoption of sustainable practices. International cooperation and collaboration on climate change mitigation and adaptation, such as between the MENA and Japan, need to be encouraged through sharing of resources, technologies, and expertise across borders. International partnership can facilitate the transfer of knowledge and technology to regions that may face specific challenges in transitioning to net zero economies, such as our region. And finally, we need to ensure that transition to net zero economies is inclusive and equitable. For that, we need to consider the social and economic implications of the transition. Ladies and gentlemen, in RECRE, we are keen to support the Japan-MENA Green Initiative with the aim to concentrate on viable prospects such as technologies, incentives, policies, and networks with renewable energy, within renewable energy, clean energy, and energy efficiency sectors in the MENA region. In this regard, it is important to identify solutions and resources gaps in the MENA toward the net zero economies, share experiences, good practices, ideas on scaling up efforts, and enhancing coordination between Japan and our countries. The goal is to introduce inventive business and partnership models tailored to capitalize on these opportunities. So accelerating sustainable investment in green projects aligned with Paris Agreement and Sustainable Development Goals. I'm glad to see this session gathering experts from government, from research institutions or think tanks, financial institutions, and the private sector to seek their insight, guidance, and suggestions about how to foster Japan's MENA win-win partnership towards net zero economies by launching a green business matching platform. So without further delay, I wish you a fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jawad, and perhaps you didn't leave for me nothing, and really it was very encouraging and inspiring opening remark. And so today I want to emphasize the word what he just mentioned. We have a representative from the government, private sector, research institute, as well as financing agency, and really we are happy to have all of them. So without no further ado, I would like to start kind of a setting since presentation. So I will go to present, and then I will go to my back to my esteemed panelists. Thank you. Yes, actually I try to work. Before to start today's session, or before to discuss on how to foster the decarbonization in MENA and Japan. So first of all is why. I think Dr. Jawad already just mentioned some of them. Is there is a readiness in the MENA region and commitment and willingness to just energy transition. And they are among the pioneer of the country who submitted and even they updated their NDCs. So from the demand side, there is significant commitment and readiness, as well as from the Japan side, there is the technology, there is the finance, there is also the readiness and willingness for partnership. We have a lot of partnership between Japan and Saudi Arabia, between Japan and Tunisia, between Japan and many countries. So the building blocks are there. What we need to do is build upon them, and if nothing is clear, we can even do more. And the third one is actually the momentum. This we were talking about it even last 2 years. We have the first MENA and the second MENA Climate Week. We have the COP in Egypt last year, and we have this COP. So there is a momentum for green business or green transition. The other things is the target audience. So of course we have the MENA stakeholders and we have the Japan stakeholders. And what we are targeting is a business, financing agency, policymaker, and the facilitator. The issue, of course, we made some small exploratory research with the Islamic Development Bank Institute and also with the Gulf Research Center 2 years back. And what we found that the information is scattered. I will not say is limited. Of course, it's really limited, but even the available information is scattered. Japanese, maybe they intend to go to the MENA, but they don't know from where to start. And the MENA stakeholder also, they want to work with the Japanese, and really, and I hear it loud and clear. Japanese technology are reliable, are very good, but which technology and why the stakeholders are not coming. So this kind of matchmaking is missing. So what we did now is, you can see for this objective, it's not working here, we want to go for 3 things. First is mapping. What is available and what is needed from both sides. I don't say needs is from developing country and seeds is coming. No, there is also needs and seeds from both sides. So we need to make the mapping. And then match, where we see the opportunity for matching, we say it mapping and matching, then tapping the opportunity. Please, these are 3 keywords that maybe will be used from now on, is mapping, matching, and tapping. The key message is, of course, is win-win partnership. How to make this kind of matching? Actually, we are thinking, just example, I will explain it later more, that from the Japan side, we will map what are the technology available and what are the supporting or the enabler, either in-kind support, financial support, and who are the facilitators. So we will put it in one website, or we call it a platform. But now if you use a platform, many people, they will say, there is too many platforms, but we can call it as a portal. And then MENA country, so this is one example, is about Tunisia, also from the same one. As a Japanese stakeholders, they say, what is prioritized in Tunisia? What are the program in Tunisia that I can start with? And if there is a program, who is involved in this program? Which is government agency? Which is the stakeholder? So unless you put all you are going to cook something. So all the ingredients, you have to put them together and then you cook a good meal. So we want to put all the ingredient in one site. How it will work, of course, is a concept. These are the Japanese business and the MENA business or company. This is who are our end, who will support. Then we hopefully still being developed, but IGS and the ISDB or RICRI, they will be the secretariat of this platform. And then we have a country working groups. From each country, we will select a representative 1 or 2 from the business, finance provider, policymaker, supporting agency, from the supply and demand side, and we form working groups. It's kind of advisory working groups. Where we work, how we work is kind of advisory working group. So this is the concept. And the objective, of course, to promote win-win. I repeat here is on win-win MENA country, and the example for activity, knowledge sharing, advisory, consultancy, networking, and project development, technical assistance and outreach. And this is the governance I just mentioned about it. The key country with whom we started is Tunisia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and UAE, and hopefully gradually we will expand. And the initial focus is energy efficiency and renewable energy. These are the start. We are hoping maybe soon to also to cover the waste management and so on. This one, and really another opportunity to thank RICRI. We are developing this website for this is how the platform will work. So here the first one is maybe about us. I just make some kind of screenshot of them. So if you can see here, if you click on about us, it will see Egypt, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Tunisia, so every day. And then if you click, it will appear a search engine. And if you click the search engine, for example, what are the technology database in Japan, then a list of technology database will go. Because even in Japan, there is not one single technology database for all the technology. There are many are developing their own technology. Maybe the most important is the STEP, the GPRSI, and so on from OECC and so on. So that one from the Japan side. If we find the technology, of course, we can click more on the same page. We can see what are the financing options, what are the facilitators, JETRO, JICA. So all of them are from the Japan side. And from the demand side, also when we click, what are the energy efficiency program in Tunisia? Then it will appear, for example, energy efficiency program for public building or something. So you have kind of guidance where you can start with. So here is the website, we are still developing it, but today I officially say that this platform, it will start. So we are ready here to support you, working with the ISDB as well as with the RICRI and with the Gulf Research Center. So I think another thing is maybe some people, they said, oh, wait a minute, is there a fee we have to pay? We have not. So this is, we try to make it in this concept. For free, if you are looking for the basic information available online, that one anyone can access to it, that one no problem. In addition to that one, if anyone wants to get in touch with the Japanese company with extra information as a basic one, that one all will be for free. But if you are interested in our work and you can go to deeper, how we can develop together a project, how we can implement a project, how we can make research more, then it may be charged according. We are not for a profit organization. This is the key point. We are here as a facilitator. We are not for promotion. So this is our activity, and today we are here in last one operation of the platform, hopefully for this COP. Today's question, this is my last slide, is of course our key question is how to foster partnership towards net zero economy, especially in the MENA region. As well, you can talk even more, not only on the MENA, and what are the opportunity and how we can tap them together. So with that one, I would like to end my presentation. And if I will go back to my esteemed speaker, panelist. So as I said, this platform is mainly about renewable energy and energy efficiency, and about MENA. So I don't think we can find a better one to talk about this topic than lady first is Dr. Iman, is from RICRI. Can you tell us maybe more what RICRI is doing, how you are involved, and first about RICRI's activity in the region? Thank you.
So first of all, I would love to thank you for this very informative presentation. I have been working with you in the project, but I was really impressed seeing it in a tangible outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us till that hour today, since it's already the 11th of December, and we are finalizing this version of the COP. My name is Iman Aidel. I am a sustainable energy expert at RICRI, and I am glad to be working with Dr. Rabhi on this project. So what we are doing as RICRI is we are an intergovernmental organization dealing with 17 member states, as Dr. Jawad already have mentioned, and we are considering the technical assistance, the financial assistance, and even the capacity building and raising awareness in our 17 member states in terms of renewable energy, in terms of energy efficiency, and of course promoting new technologies among the region. One of our main scope of work is to exchanging the information among our countries, of course with considering the different context from country to another, but with having the main best practice that usually went starting from the policies and regulation, going through setting goals to be achieved, then to a commitment, and finalizing with the results. Through our work at RICRI, we are so much keen to gather together all the stakeholders and the regional experts who are dealing with whatever we have mentioned from renewable energy, energy efficiency, and climate change action. And I think this will be very fine for now.
Thank you, Dr. Iman. And of course, based on the information with them, and I heard that the RICRI, of course, they are working in the region. You have, as he mentioned, 18 or 17 member country, and one of them is the Tunisia. I heard that you already have some kind of MOU with the Tunisia. So now I would like to move to Lotfi Msadqi. So also to talk us about. I think you can use the mic, that one, about what you're from the Ministry of Environment, I think, so you can tell us more about what is going on in Tunisia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like, first of all, thank you very much for this invitation for this interesting side event. I'm not very fluent in English, but I will try to express English. If I do mistake, correct me, Mr. Aslam. Okay, so Tunisia is very committed, is fully committed to reach its target with NDC and long-term strategy for low carbon development. Tunisia have prepared their first NDC in 2015 and the second NDC in 2021. Our goal is to reach 45% reduction of the intensity of carbon. So with this effort, we can reach 87% reduction, cumulative reduction of CO2 emission. In this 87%, 55% is based on the international cooperation. So 55% of the reduction will be conditional by the international support and cooperation. The main sectors that we have target in our NDC is the energy sector. The reduction will be 72%, and the agriculture 13%, industrial 9%, and waste 6%. So all this sector participate in the reduction that we target in our NDC. By achieving our NDC target, the emission by person in Tunisia by year, it will reach 2.4. In the world is 7, more than 7, so we will reach 2.4 CO2 equivalent CO2 carbon by a year. But for that we need investment. We need $20 billion to implement our NDC. From 2020 to 2030, we need $20 billion. 14 billion for mitigation and for adaptation, and 0.7 for capacity building. Only for the sector of the energy, we need 12 billion. For just the sector of the energy, we need 12 billion, which 82% based on the international cooperation and support, international support. So from this indicator, we understand that we need international cooperation to implement our NDC. Also, Tunisia has prepared her long-term strategy for development, for low carbon development. We target the same sectors: energy, agriculture, renewable energy, efficiency energy, the transport and building, and the same sector that we target in our NDC. With that, Tunisia has finished her transparency, enhanced transparency system. We are proposed an organizational and institutional arrangement to manage the transparency system. We have a platform to collect data for all the information about climate change, and we have our national strategy for the implementation of Article 6. We have a roadmap for the implementation of Article 6, and also we have an action plan by sector to implement our NDC. We have an action plan by maps, by all the steps, and we have communicate our fourth national communication. We have prepared our third BUR, and now we need action, we need cooperation, we need investment, and we need international cooperation with all countries, with Japan also. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, seeing a lot of this development, I cannot write a check by $20 million, but your kind of ambitious NDCs and strategy, they are in place. So hopefully we move for implementation. I heard it loud and clear that the key sector is energy. And I think it's better to move for the Hitachi Ltd for their energy efficiency, maybe product, and because maybe people, when they hear Hitachi, they are confused what is Hitachi. So I would like to hear more from Tatsuya Ito-san. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for inviting me this relevant and important session today. My name is Tatsuya Ito in Hitachi Limited. In Hitachi, I'm taking a lead of the environmental activities such as carbon neutral and circular economies. So more than 10 years ago, I had seconded to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Japan as a part of a climate change negotiation team. So within this 10 years, the climate change issue is getting serious and every year. So yeah. I'm kind of pretty much honored to be here to discuss about this topics. So coming to your question, so I hope that some of you may hear about the name of the Hitachi before, probably logos on the TV screen or refrigerator or washing machine or the construction machineries. But now the Hitachi is kind of two pillars of the segment. One is large-scale infrastructure like energy transmission or industrial products such as motor or compressor, and rolling stocks for train as well. On the other hand, we have IT technologies such as large-scale IT system for banking system or government social systems or IT hardware such as data storage. But now, in terms of the cooperation to the MENA region, the key for expanding the renewable worlds is that the renewable energy generation is one of the key topics, but also that when I discuss with the IEA or IRENA, so that the current problem is that how we can deliver these renewables to the consumption area. So energy grid is one of the most important things rather than in addition to the renewable energies. Now also, as you mentioned, to reduce the demand, how we can use the high efficiency products or solutions to minimize the demand. So these the demand side or improvement of demand side and supply side is the demand side, demand and supply side. Both is important. So, but both of them we as a Hitachi can cooperate to that region. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ito-san. Of course, we are very much happy to work with Hitachi. We are working with Hitachi in India as well as hoping we can join collaboration in the MENA region. And I think not only IGS is leading such kind of activity, I think for the Mitsubishi Research Institute also is doing a lot of activity to facilitate Japanese penetration in this area. So I would like to hear more from Takahashi Endo-san.
Okay, thank you very much for having us in this very important panel. So my name is Takashi Endo from Mitsubishi Research Institute. I'm heading the Middle East Regional Office in Dubai. Actually, if you say Mitsubishi, there are many Mitsubishi companies. Someone will maybe think about elevators, someone think about cars, for example. But we are Mitsubishi Research Institute, which was established by Mitsubishi companies, but independent research and consulting company since 1970. Yes. And actually, we are one of the few consulting research company, have an office in this region, and started our office in 2021, so 2 years back. And we see many opportunities in terms of environment energy, especially in this region, especially UAE and Saudi Arabia. We see a significant transformation from the oil and gas industry to a new type of fuel, new type of energy, or environmentally friendly industry. And actually, Japanese Prime Minister visited this region in July, previous July, and they had several high-level meetings with, for example, head of the state in UAE and Saudi Arabia, and the main discussion point was green transformation or a new type of energy. So I think the cooperation, traditionally it was to import oil and gas from this region to Japan, but now I think the type of the collaboration is coming to a new type. And I think this also, the role of the countries in this region, like UAE, Saudi Arabia, has a very strong commitment, and not only for those countries, but also regionally. So I think it's very important to not only, aside the bilateral cooperation, maybe regional collaboration with GCC countries and MENA region. And in addition to this, to utilizing Japanese technologies or Japanese finance or like mechanisms like JCM will be very, so it's kind of, I think it's a good timing to think about new relationship or new type of collaboration. And I think this kind of activity will be a kind of basis of discussion of such things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Endo-san. I mean, very encouraging because you are working from both sides as well as the research institute. I mean, that the opportunity are really generating and are being increased. So before maybe to go to the second round, I would like to hear from Olatunji, because when we say also Islamic Development Bank, so everyone is like confusing. Hitachi is not the TV screen, Mitsubishi is not the elevator, and Islamic, what is going on? So can you tell us more about what is the Islamic Development Bank is doing to promote energy in MENA as well as maybe others, or maybe South, something like that. So I want to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rabi, for helping to actually organize this event. I think I must say that this event is so unique because this is going to be the last event that we're going to be having in the entirety of our joint MDB pavilion. So it's so unique that, and today being the last day of most of the event, and we still have this audience participating, so it's something that is quite incredible. But more so is the fact that this is a very unique panel. You hardly find a panel where you find the private sector, you find the government, you find the financiers, and you also find the regional institutions. So that's something that is quite incredible. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Rabi for place. The ISDB, of course, we're in the MDB pavilion. The cruise of what we do is financing. Using various instruments, various modalities to do that. As a bank, we are the largest South-South multilateral development bank, which is basically the bank is owned by countries in the Global South, serving our clients that are predominantly from the Global South. Even at that, even with the fact that we're a South-South development institution, we play a very key role in the whole climate, energy transition discussion, in the amount of financing that we actually provide. As a bank, I want to broaden it a little bit because we have private sector colleagues. I don't want to talk about the public sector alone. It's a very big bank with entities cutting across those that are involved in trade finance, that are providing lines of credit for different, particularly the private actors, which is one of the areas that we are looking at as a bank to support our member countries, clients that are working in our member countries, to be able to foster trade, whether it's in energy transition activities, procuring solar PVs and those sort of things. But also, we do have one of our entities that is into guarantees and export credit, because we know that one of the reasons why many private sector actors will tell you, I don't want to invest in a particular country, in a particular region, is because the risk is high. And the risk is high because there are very few players that are willing to share this risk. So what do? We have an entity of the bank that helps to cover this risk. It's called HISEC. So what these guys do is to help you take some of whether it's a political risk and other forms of risk that could be associated with private actors playing a role or investing in a given country. And MENA region is a very important region for us. Of course, for those that do not know, we operate in 4 continents of the world, which MENA region is just one of them. So we operate in sub-Saharan Africa, we operate in most part of Asia, part of Eastern Europe and South America. So MENA is a very important region for us because that's where the HQ is, and we have most of our member states, they cover the region. So going to your specific question around, so what is the bank doing in advancing this? As most MDBs that you see their logo on the wall and in this room, we have all committed to be Paris aligned, specifically in the case of the bank. We've committed that we'll become Paris aligned in the next 2 weeks, by the way, by the end of this year. So by the end of this year, it means that 100% of every financing that we provide as a bank would be in alignment with the objectives of the Paris Agreement. So the question is, what does this mean? Okay, alignment, objectives of the Paris Agreement. It basically means we're providing more financing for climate action, whether it's in the energy sector, whether it's in the transport sector, whether it's in water, whether it's in education, name the sector, right? So it's something basically that we have committed to. Last year in Sharm el-Sheikh, collectively with our friends from the Arab Coordination Group, which are very active in the region, we committed 24 billion in helping our client to advance effort in this space. This year, we committed 10 billion collectively at COP28 to help also specifically on activities that are related to just energy transition, which the MENA region actually plays a very key role there. One last point that I would like to talk about is the fact that this initiative, which we've been working on collectively, and I must really commend you for the effort that you've put into this and the dedication that you've actually demonstrated. And we very much align with you because we're basically the same soldier towards a common cause. So there's a lot of strong alignment between what you are working towards and what we as a bank were looking into. It's the fact that we know the place and the role that partnership actually plays and cross-border collaboration. Because we know that it's not just the last year, just to put it in context, all the 10 banks that you're seeing on this wall, collectively, we provided $100 billion to climate finance. That sounds very huge, but it's nothing compared to the amount of money that we need for the transition that is required. That's why we need private sector actors. So what we are planning to do as a group of institutions is to say, this is $100 billion. How can we use this to catalyze more financing from private actors, whether it's from Japan, within the regions where we operate? And that's the reason that as a bank, we put a huge emphasis on the role that regional cooperation between regions, between countries, actually plays. And that's why we have one of our modalities that we call the reverse linkage program, which actually helps to actually foster collaboration between countries, whether it's from Japan and countries within the MENA region. And it can be a very useful tool for private sector actors, for public sector stakeholders to be able to actually advance, including capacity enhancement, including providing technical assistance in advancing causes that are very dear to some of the work that we collectively do. Thank you.
Thank you, Olatunji, and good to know about, especially about this modality, about this reverse linkage. So it's not only maybe from Japan to Tunisia, but still we can have a lot of opportunity between Tunisia and maybe the other country within the MENA. So a lot of opportunity, a lot of modality, a lot of stakeholders. This is our role to bring them as a matchmaker all together. Before to go another round to the speaker, so I would like maybe also to give a chance if anyone has any question to the panelists. So just please, without me to talk, attack. If you have any questions, just yeah. Fadl.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nasser Al-Masri. I'm from Kuwait. As you said, sir, that all of these names and you got 100 billion and we are in need of more. The gentleman from Tunisia is in need of 21 billions. And Abd Salam cannot write the check for him. Let's talk more about what we can do. We as part of the third world are burning oil about 5 million barrels per day in the Gulf Cooperation Council in order to produce energy and fresh water. The cost of that barrel is around $100. So in reality, we are burning $500 million per day. And our friends in Japan, Korea, United States, Britain, and so on, has the technology. Instead of burning oil, we can transform it into petrochemicals. And suddenly the barrel goes from 100 to 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000, if you go to the high end of the what's so-called petrochemicals and so on. Where is the partnership here? Where is what's so-called the relationship or the friendship societies? Till when are we going to be just the followers of the makers of technologies and so on? Did any one of you transfer technology for us? Did any one of you taught us how to do it? How many scholarships that we got from you? Education or training? We have the right also to be like Japan or United States. We are not less than anybody. And we had the chance to travel and to study all over. But we did not have the chance to be a part of you unless we become citizens of that or this country and so on. So the idea is, why don't you transfer the technology and teach us how to do it? Mitsubishi, Nissan, Toyota, and whatever made billions out of us. How many dollars did you pay as income tax in the Arab world or in Kuwait or the GCC? You did not pay a penny. Okay? How many jobs did you create for us? Nothing. And so on. Let's go for something else. We have the banks here and we have the Islamic Bank. Should I get the loan in Islamic dinar or Saudi riyal or Kuwaiti dinar, or should I go for the Japanese yen because the interest is low? Or should I go for the dollar or the British pound or the euro and so on? And what are the benefits that I can get from you as an Islamic bank, and for how long? How much are you going to charge me, or the others will charge me, and so on. The other thing is, when I think seriously about what's so-called the climate control and energy versus what's so-called emission and so on, who paid us something to reduce the emission? None. None whatsoever. Okay? Who tried to help us to make this place, the Arabian Peninsula, as a green place? You did not do anything. Maybe we did not ask. Or maybe we have been used by what's so-called a friend. Or we have been abused by what's so-called a friend. You are dealing with governments. What about non-governments? You don't deal with just the private sector. We are also here as non-government organizations. What did you do? What did you do for us? And so on. All of these questions are in need of an answer. And we need to dictate our own policy while we are the owners of this land. We are not less than anybody, and we should be respected. You don't deal with governments, you deal with human beings, with citizens of these countries. And we are not less than anybody in the world, including United States, Britain, Japan, Korea, and China. This is what we are asking for. And this is what we are going to dictate on our own governments. And we'll go after anybody who thinks that we are less than him. This is my idea, and I'm looking for answers. Thank you very much.
Please let me, I will answer him straightforward. Really, thank you very much. Your voice is loud and clear, because maybe the other or the original modality is just selling the technology, and maybe other are not benefiting. And maybe, to me, what I want to say, that under this platform, we are bringing a collaboration, a partnership. Is not a business. We are non-for-profit organization, and part of all this model, the capacity building and the localization of the technology. We are not coming to sell the technology, but we are coming to introduce the technology. This is the technology. Please help us to localize it or to manufacture it in this region. And as you are totally right, part of this is not only just closed box, but it should be also open for learning. You said we need an answer, and I think hopefully by next COP, I will give it as a promise in front of everyone. So the second, you are from? You are from Kuwait. So Kuwait will be our number 5 country in the platform. And we will do something by next COP. I promise we are going to report something to answer you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I think I would also use the word of Dr. Rabi that I very much appreciate your views. I think they are so important, and we also share those concerns as well. They are quite essential. Particularly looking at some of the injustice within the whole climate discussion. It's not just about even MENA. It's a global thing that, and it has been there for quite a while, around paying for some of the costs associated with the issues that we've had to deal with today. So this is something that we very much appreciate that, and we do not take that lightly. But having said that, I think one thing that is very important to say is that, like I said earlier, that MDBs, which surprisingly, we even happen to be the coordinators of the group of these institutions, they are trying their best. I have to be, it may not be, like I said, it's just like a drop in the ocean. 100 billion is nothing from a global economy that is in the trillions. So it's like nothing. But what they've been able to do with those little resources is to see how they can use that to also bring about those needed changes in the countries where we work. As a bank, I talked about the whole idea of reverse linkage. Reverse linkage has been very useful in transfer of solutions. Today, you go to places in the Sahel where the livelihood is actually at the crossroad. People do not know where they're going to get the next meal. These are places where some of those solutions that we have as a bank has been able to actually bring technology from places like within the global south, like Morocco, to address issues around energy access. As simple as that. The energy that we have here, that we do not know the value. In some places, they've never seen it before. So with the reverse linkage and programs like this, we've been able to actually change the fortune of countries like that. They may not be the grand mega project. They may not be the big mega project that we know. But in terms of the impact and the change that they are making, I think is quite significant. So this is something that we continue to do, and we hope that we'll be able to scale up in the years ahead. One point is this: as a bank, everyone is equal. Every citizen of every country where we work, they matter. Regardless of whether they're in government, they work in the private sector, they work in the civil society organization, everyone matters. And that's why we have our own internal policies, that whenever we operate in a country, we don't just engage the government, we engage the private sector, we engage civil society. We have those safeguard systems that are in place to ensure that the interests of these respective groups are considered in every dollar that we spend, that they have a say in it. That it's not just the government. We know the government these are bureaucrats, these are politicians. They do anything from the political lens. But we speak to the people on the street, we speak to the people on the road. And those things, they also feed into the things that you eventually give as a people. But I don't want to take much of our time, because this conversation is a non-ending one, that we can continue on it for so long. But very good point that you've raised, and very much appreciate your views and concerns.
Thank you very much, Yusuf. And again, I have to inform that our partnership, you can see, is not government to government. We are bringing the government, civil society, facilitator, as well as the private sector. And we would like very much to have such passion and in our group, working group. So really very much, and I can follow a discussion with you. And I will not go for a back. I would like to get more questions from the floor. Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. I actually work with the EBRD, so one of the other banks listed on here today. I just want to thank you, esteemed panelists, for your interventions and for actually participating in an initiative like this one. It's clearly much needed, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the benefits are, short and long term. So thank you for entering this space. There's a need for it, as the gentleman here said. I echo your concerns. I think we need to take the concerns very seriously. We need to, in terms of upscaling, in terms of investments. So hopefully we take this into consideration in this room and outside of this room. But financing aside, I was just wondering what the other gaps are that you've identified. What else do you need to make sure that this will be a successful project and that more countries across the globe can benefit from this collaboration? So any thoughts on that would be helpful.
Thank you very much, Sister Sarah. I will try to answer. The question is, we are still new to the area. And what we are going to do is, at least the first step is bringing all the information, mapping. So what EBRD can bring, what ISDB can bring, what the EIB, what other commercial banks they can bring. We put them all in one single platform and then sit down together with the working groups and who can do in which project. So really, I will be very happy that EBRD also will be kind of join hands. That we will be. It's our pleasure, and really looking very much forward to work on this one. Thank you. Again, the other sister.
Hi everyone. I'm Mujdan from Palestine, and I'm wondering if Palestine, since you're talking about the MENA, is an eligible country. Hope to be number 6 on the list, inshallah. And especially since you've mentioned something about the risk mitigation measures that you're doing for, like, I think insurance or something. So I would like to learn more about this, please.
I'm very excited and very pleased and very happy that someone from Palestine is joining us. And really, I have nothing to say more. And really, thank you. I very support you. Olatunji, he is talking about the insurance, I think within the banks. If you can answer her very quick, otherwise, please let me give around the tape. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. No, that's a very good question. So at the level of the bank, there are different levels, right? We all know that every project will typically have their own risk profile, right? And this risk, they could range from, they could be environmental risk, there could be financial risk, there could be repayment risk, the ability for that investment to be able to pay back itself. So there could be, in fact, it could be political risk in a given country where a private sector company do not want to come and invest in a particular sector because they feel that stability cannot be assured. It could be risk that is environment, say, hey, there could be possibility of a disaster, and then I lose all my investment, and they don't want to invest in it. So we do have those different layers. For the very big mega project, those are high-level kind of insurance and export credit that is provided, which our colleagues from ISEC do provide those sort of, they have a lot of instrument around that, which I'm happy to discuss that after this meeting. But then for smaller projects, say agriculture investment, renewable, sort of smaller scale project, we do have that, which are often embedded as part of the line of credit and support that we provide to financial intermediaries. So for instance, because we do not really know the context of a country on the ground the way the commercial banks would know within the context of the country. So what we do, we rely on the commercial banks. They know the customers, they know the private sector players, they know the different institutions that are, or companies that are working within the context of that. So we provide line of credit to them, which they eventually use in providing insurance packages for different beneficiaries that, it's all dependent. Some can be solely private sector focused, some can be an hybrid, private and government covering some of that, while the private sector covering some of that. So depending on different countries, different sectors, different modalities and different packages. But happy to talk about that after the session. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Yusuf. Thank you very much. I would like to come back to my panelists, and of course we are talking about the technology and the needs. So I would like again to come to our Tatsuya Ito-san. I mean, Hitachi now as a private sector penetrating in the region, any vision, any what you can see, how Hitachi see the region in your business plan or strategy? Thank you.
Yeah, since we are having the exhibition in the Japan Pavilion, and we are welcoming many guests or the visitors, and we are introducing our technology and solutions. But many of them are interested in what we want to this to my country, for example. So, but the problem for most of the time is that you mentioned that how we gonna have that the money, the budget to implement that technology to the country. So I think not like the banking institutions is the kind of the multilateral development bank. It's a kind of the tool or like a trigger to mobilize the money to get in that technology to the countries. So, but also like since not, but again, not as you mentioned that the money itself is limited. So I think not. As it's kind of challenge, but no, I think that the creating that to make that technology into the required the place, like the mechanism that like prioritize the application of the highly like efficient technologies or the solutions, and or like like relaxing the standardization for that kind of the energy efficient solutions or products can be like more easier for to make like a carbon neutral worlds. Yeah.
My question also to follow him. So, I mean, is in the strategy is only? Are you also besides selling the technology? Is there any capacity building or something together?
Yeah, of course not. It depends on like if that product itself is like just saying consumer products, it might be difficult to do like a technology transfer or like a capacity building. But most of the case, like large solution or the products can be like need the training or education to use or apply to the your country. So in that case, most of the case, the technology itself as well as like a capacity building is a kind of combination to introduce that technology.
Thank you. I think you said you have office in Dubai. Okay, but do you have any activity with Tunisia? Not yet.
Not yet. So okay. Yeah, we are too. Yes.
But I think I heard he mentioned something about the JCM. So can you tell us more? Any Tunisia and Japan, some collaborations I think is going.
Yes. I think our cooperation with Japan is not new. It's since a long time we cooperate with Japan. We have a good relationship with Japan. We have so many projects with JICA in the first time, and in the TICAD in 2022 we have organized TICAD in Tunisia, and indeed this occasion we have signed GCM between Tunisia and Japan for the implementation of the Article 6. So just in 1 year after that we have signed the commitment between Japan and Tunisia, we have organized the first meeting of the GCM joint committee, and we have now 3 projects that we will implement in this year. The first one is about waste management. The second one is about the production of 50 megawatt of energy production from the renewable energy in the south of Tunisia, Tozeur, and the other one for the production of 50 megawatt in the region of Tozeur. And yesterday we have a high-level meeting here in Japan, in Dubai, between the Ministry of the Environment of Japan and the Ministry of Tunisia, and we have discussed all opportunity of cooperation and about the environmental projects. I think that the cooperation with Japan, as he said, our friend from Kuwait, with Japan is different. With Japan, the cooperation is goes beyond the simple financial cooperation. It's a cooperation for the sustainable development. It's a cooperation. It's a friendly cooperation. It's a cooperation for a friendly future, environmental friendly future. I think also it's a respectuous cooperation, and the main thing in this cooperation is win-win cooperation.
Yeah, thank you.
It's based of our experience.
Okay. It's really good to know that it's coming from your own experience, and also encouraging to know that there is something ongoing between Japan and Tunisia. So I would like also maybe time is getting very short to hear from
fostering green technology, green transformation, I think it's agreed. And then I think we also think that there are several projects already that are ongoing. Yes, and I think between the concept and the project, we need some kind of system. And for that point, I think, for example, JCM is already signed by 4, I think, countries in this region: UAE, Saudi, Tunisia, and Egypt. Egypt not, maybe 3 countries, yeah, sorry. And yes, and I think traditionally, so JCM was focused on the energy efficiency or renewables, relatively small size projects. And this was successful quite in Southeast Asian countries. And to bringing JCM to this region, I think the importance is scale. And in terms of scale, I think we need, as the gentleman mentioned, more private finance. And there are also some kind of new trend or new guideline from the government of Japan to fostering private finance in JCM. So this will be one kind of direction. And especially if you think private finance, we also, I think, expecting some collaboration with the Sovereign Wealth Fund in this region, so that maybe we can together kind of invest into the JCM project in collaboration with, for example, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of UAE into the Tunisian project. This will make the significance of the scale bigger. So maybe some kind of new ideas also necessary in terms of kind of system or policies area is what I'm thinking.
Thank you very much. So we are very much looking for this kind of very large scale project. I think the time is running out, but I would like, if anyone more from the floor would like to have a question to the panelists, maybe one more, and I will take one. Please go ahead.
Thank you. This is Muhammad from Iraq, University of Technology in Baghdad. I will talk about research environment in MENA region. I think there is a weakness in research environment, and we have big gap between MENA region and other countries. Do you have a plan to improve research environment, especially in climate change and green energies, such as green hydrogen or something like this? Thank you so much.
Just I have a question, suggestion, if it's possible. How about if we trade in the crude oil into petrochemicals and we'll have a win-win situation? Second thing, our investment outside the world is around $1.3 trillion. Last year, Kuwait made $150 billion. And we're supposed to pay our own tax as a tax income, and so on. What about if we have the Charity Act and we'll do the foundation of Kuwait and we'll transfer the money as what we got from the IRS, Internal Revenue Services, in Japan or Korea, whatever, and we will implement this amount of money for the benefit of the Japanese and the Kuwaitis and the Arab world. And maybe we can support Tunisia with $21 billion. Third thing is, how about if we use what's so-called the insurance policies? Sometimes you are looking for a collateral as a bank, and he's looking for something. We'll use the insurance policies, we'll buy them. In Islam, we have something called Muslim endowment, waqf, okay? And we are ready to buy that kind of insurance policy as Muslim endowment for the benefit of the bank in order to give Tunisia or Egypt or Kuwait a loan based on that, what's so-called collateral, if it's possible. The fourth thing is, we are in need of one single training or educational program from each what's so-called trademark. We have more than 200,000 trademarks. Like I said, Microsoft, Toyota, Lexus, Nissan, Sony, Hitachi, Mitsubishi, and so on. Each one of them will pay us one scholarship. The cost of one scholarship is around $70,000, less, more, something like this. And if we collect 200,000 training programs multiplied by 70,000, we are talking about at least $10 to $12 billion. Multiply it by 23 countries. So the guys from Syria, from Lebanon, from Egypt, from everywhere will get the benefit. And suddenly we will transform the Arab world in a very different idea and a very different stage and a very different future. Think of it, and let's see what will happen from the government to government, non-government to non-government, but be sure that we are steady and maybe we are slow, but we'll go after it. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you so very much. Those are really, really good ideas.
Actually, they are very good idea, very good suggestion. Like usually a question, but now it's good to have a proposal, so we can even continue discussion with him after this one. But I want to go back to the friend or from Iraq. About research and development, and also he's asking for research and development, and it's not only technology transfer. It's not only technology transfer, it's improving the environment for the research, improvement for the capacity building. The voice is loud and clear, and we will do it under this platform, something different. And some of your suggestions, we will try also to implement them with many thanks. Any final word from the panelists? Okay, only you are, of course, you are the first and the last. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So actually, I can figure out your main concern here, if you allow me to highlight it. It's about having an open channel to communicate with different stakeholders, whether they are technology makers, whether they are policy makers or decision makers, and also for the physical incentives, and of course, mobilizing the finance and access to finance with regards to renewable energy and energy efficiency. And this is what we are trying to do in our platform. The main scope of this platform is to highlight the success stories and projects from the Arab region or from the MENA region, of course. I'm talking about scope. And through this, you can communicate with different stakeholders from the governmental sector, from the public and private, and even international organizations. Through also the project, you can find the different financial organizations with the methodology of their financing mechanism, which is launched on their website. So you can figure out your needs and justify it through further cooperation with different stakeholders. What I also would love to highlight is that we are capable to do our own development in the MENA region. What we are trying to do is to faster the process, is to enhance it somehow, is to start from whatever others have been already in, but we are capable, and we have lots of examples for that. I mean, look at the Saudi Arabia for the last couple of years. They have jumped. They didn't move faster, they already jumped. And for Tunisia, for example, they are one of the leading countries in the energy efficiency in the MENA region. If you are talking about Morocco, they are leading the renewable energies. And Egypt, for example, 3 or 4 years ago, they have announced the largest renewable energy project in the MENA region, which is the BAM project. And it's one of the very successful business models that have been initiated internally and encourage the investors to buy their money in Egypt. And we have now around 42 small renewable energy projects which create at the end the largest one in the Middle East. So whatever the context of the country, I believe that the communication, the collaboration, and gathering together all the stakeholders, including the governmentals, the private, the business men, even the civil society. I mean, for BAM project, for example, they create a whole economic cycle in that area. So every country are capable to do whatever development they are need. It's all about the strategy and how to conduct this strategy. And I believe that through our platform, which is, we are honored to be partnered with IGES and Islamic Development Bank and creating it, this will somehow create a common ground for collaboration between different countries. So I would love to thank you actually for your interventions and also for Iraqi interventions, because we have also created lots of work together, and we are working now on a project with UNDP for the energy transition. And the lady that highlighted the mobilization for finance, it's really important, of course, to get off the bureaucratic processes in finalizing the financial process. And I think that we have already learned it from the previous experience, and this is what we are trying to create nowadays. I'm sorry if I took so long, but I would love to recap what our conclusion.
Of course, thank you very much. I think we are the same idea. And what inspired me now, I think within the platform, we can make also one additional icon, hearing voices, maybe from the civil society or something. So we will be listening to you or to any other voices. So we will add in the platform some icon where you click, contact us, propose what you have. That one also we will do it in practical manner. Thank you very much. It's run a bit long, so now I would like to invite Jawad Aqbal for the closing remark. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jawad Iqbal. I'm representing the Gulf Research Center and the Gulf Research Foundation. I think we had a very interactive session. I thank the panelists. And also I would like to thank our partners, RECRI, IGES, and the ISDB. You know, the partnership is a very quickest way to achieve a greener and lower carbon economy. The MENA region is currently undergoing a significant change in all areas, and these changes needs to be environmentally friendly and sustainable to achieve the 2030 goals and the 2050 zero emission targets by most of the MENA region nations. The MENA region has the greatest potential for renewable energy production worldwide. However, the renewable energy currently makes up only a small fraction of the energy production in the region. Additionally, there is much room for improvement in the energy efficiency across various sectors. Therefore, we require an innovative system encompassing technology, economic societies, and managerial aspects to accelerate our region's emissions transition towards eco-friendly technologies, with a particular emphasis on renewable energy and energy efficiency. It is possible for the Arab countries to achieve their goals on climate and development quickly by cooperating with each other and with cooperating with its partners like Japan. Although the necessary technologies are available and financing can be secured, the process of finding the right business partner is slow and difficult. Our project can help to bridge the gap by facilitating business matchmaking and setting the MENA region to connect with the right partners and guide them through the early stages of their business development. There is much work to be done, and I believe that forums like these is a starting point to bridge the gap and bring the different stakeholders on the same page. I don't think we'll be able to solve all the problems to this forum, but at least we are trying and putting all our effort as a team. We in the Gulf Research Center, we believe that you know, you know, this commitment we have for making the change, and you know, we will do all our efforts that we can to achieve the targets. Thank you very much.
I think with this I would like to end today's panel, and of course to those who are also watching or listening to us, also a very big thanks for your patience. Thank you so much, and wish you maybe a safe trip back home for those who are coming from far, and thank you again. Bye bye.